And yeah, in prepared, it's also nicely done. It's by, if I recall, Flight Tampa, and all their airports are nicely done. But you know, these are two companies that are both doing excellent work. This is Global Art Studios. Difference is this one's substantially less expensive generally than the Flight Tampa one. But I see a lot of airports where where's the trolley car? I reinstalled, so maybe I broke it or something. Maybe I needed to set some configuration. It could be in here somewhere, who knows. If you do see their trolley cars, they flow very smoothly. Animations are very, very good. Some places they're kind of jerky. It's one thing I noticed when I was first time I loaded this airport. But where's my traffic? I probably disabled it. It's there. There, we got some. And I'm flying into Chicago, so I really don't want to crank it up too high, I don't think. And we're flying the Citation. I wasn't actually going to stream this, I was just going to fly. And then I got onto YouTube and I was doing some studying of this airplane, you know, and watched a bunch of real videos and one simulator video. Actually, it was a full motion simulator to watch what power settings they used, what speeds they used on final, all those things, and you know where they adjusted power. So I gathered all that information up like I usually do, and it's always interesting to me to come back into the sim and to try those numbers out to see how they do. And while I know a lot of people like to, and I'm one of them, like to get on Coronado about their systems, and I don't have a lot to complain about in this airplane in terms of systems. They're pretty well done, mostly, you know, except for this thing. Their flight models are usually really good, you know, surprisingly good. You know, I mean, so they're more than just a graphics company, you know, more than just a airplane modeler. You know, so sometimes, like I say, it's about one, for me, it's always been about one in every 4 airplanes that I've bought from Coronado, and I've got quite a few, that actually turns out to be a gem, you know, a good airplane. So, yeah, and I'm gonna do the full checklist, which is something I haven't done with this airplane. You know, I mean, it's the 25th of July today, and there's a whole new sim coming out on the 18th, so which has 2 citations in it, by the way. If you buy everything, it's got the Sovereign and I don't know if it's the Bravo or what it is, but it's got, you know, 2 citations. So you know it comes in with 2. It's also got the King Air 350i, and I think it has the Collins. I caught a video. I'm not sure if it's got all 3 configurations for the 350i. There are 2 Collins configurations. There's a black and white Collins 5-screen thing, and then there's also a 3-screen, more modern one, which is color, which is much more like the G1000. In fact, first time you look at it, you think, wow, that's a G1000, but it's not. It's a Collins. You know, there's some things that would tell you it's a Collins. So they got those. you know, and if you're inclined to fly heavy metal, they've got those things too. And, you know, so definitely something for everybody over there. I've been asking myself a lot of questions about what I'll be looking for on, you know, when I load that sim up. I also still have to get ready. Okay, so oxygen masks are 100%, of course. Are checked 100%. Of course they are. It says oxygen control valve is normal. I assume that's what this is. It's pressure, unless it's over here. Oh, it's right there. That's normal. I'm going to skip that one. All switches are off, normal or auto. Generators off if GPU start. Okay, I do have the GPU connected. I've never done a GPU start. Why not? Landing gear handle is down. Throttles cut off. Battery switch. Emergency check bus. Okay, so where is that? This never works on the Coronados, or very rarely. Very rarely. Doesn't seem to do anything. ATIS clearance. Okay, so I've got a clearance. Let's check the altimeter. It's supposed to be raining here. Active sky running. Yep, it is. Yep, and it's live. Let's get the wind and altimeter anyway. 230 at 4, any runway will do, and 3013. I guess I could put that in here. Alright. Battery switch, battery. Oops. There we go. It says battery 24 volts. There we go. Yep, good. GPU is connected, rotary test switch checked. Oh, here we go.
TOS, system test OK.
Windshield ice detection lights check. I don't even know what those are. It's down here, I guess. Engine instruments. No flags. Fuel quantity check. Yep. Pre-flight inspection complete. Cabin door. We will lock that. Passenger briefing complete. Battery switch is battery. It is parking brake set. Wheel chocks removed. The seats adjusted. Cockpit lights are set. Rotating beacon on. Beacon is here. First engine First engine start RPM needs to be about 50% into That's the simplest start checklist I've ever seen. Okay. I assume ignition has to be on. Didn't even say it. Tell you what, I've got another start checklist. Fuel boost on. Ignition and then right start. Wait for 10. Left starter. Wait for 10. Left gen on, right gen on. Inverter on. Fuel boost off. Ignition off. Gyro slave. Auto. Skid on. What switch did I have that assigned to? There we go. AC on. Warm out there. Avionics on. Guess I could shut the GPU off, huh? Doesn't say that in there. Alright, where's my flight plan? 1-5 left. Going to... Actually, I don't think we need to do anything here. Let's go back to menu. Well, we do have to do this. We have to put it... K-O-R-D, enter. And now let's go back. Go to proc. Departure. Departure, we're looking for the go pup 3. And 1-5 left. And we're going to Hokey. Alright, load that. And then back to proc. Arrival. Windy 1 from FNT. Windy 1 is on the Windy 9. Wow, that's a big difference. And we're landing 2-2 right, which is good. We'll get a view of 22B, huh? 22B? Well, 22 both, I guess is what it is. Never seen that before. Okay, so load that. And go back. And let's go the other way. Sim Toolkit Pro. That's okay. But it probably... Wait. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, good. Like planning. Alright, so that's... I've got my flight plan loaded. And let's do a fly now. And now I can look at the departure chart. SID. Oh, they all come in one long package. Alright. Interesting. Go pup 3. I assume they're in alphabetical order here. Here we go. Chart off the sky vector. Oh, I can't get it off the sky vector. Oh, that's why it's in this blasted package. Okay, so go pup 3. Runway 15 left requires a minimum climb. Depart runway 15, climb heading 147 to 1,000 feet. Continue to climb. Okay, so it's 3,000 feet. Expect radar vectors to Orbx. Alright, so if I go to map, well, So there's no altitude restriction or anything like that on this. Oh, we're going to Borak. Where the heck is Borak? I guess we could look here. Well, I guess we're going to Boval. Whatever. 1.5 left, so we're going to climb a 147. So 147. And so we'll depart this way and then make a right turn. Okay, and then we'll check the star on the way down, but just taking a quick peek here. That looks fine. Okay, so is that 1.5 left right there? Yes, it is. I guess you got to cross the runway to get over there. So taxiway Tango to taxiway Bravo. To maybe that's Juliet. Tango Bravo Juliet. Okay. So back to the checklist. That's a pretty crappy miss on their checklist. There's nothing about turning on fuel boost pumps or ignition. Okay, so avionics power's on, DC amps and volts are checked. That's here. Generators. Anti-ice system is, well, we probably won't need it, but I don't know what we would do to check it anyway. It just says checked. Okay, switches are there. Let's see. Passenger advisory lights. Pack safety, that's here. Anti-skid is on, gyro pressure is usually over here somewhere. Yep. Checked. Battery temp. I don't know where you would check that. Maybe that's here. Pressurization set. Interesting. Okay. Going to 320. I was hoping we'd go higher than that. Up there. Electrical elevator trim. Takeoff range. Speed brake cycled. Let's see. outside and verify that. Yep, there they are. Passenger seats checked, belts, harnesses, ADAS, and clearance. 3013. 3013. Avionics test, checked, and set. So I assume what they mean is the autopilot there, so we will... Oops, not that. Get that out of the way. AP. I don't know what it is about that. Oh, damper works. I think maybe because it's on the ground it doesn't let us do that. I hope that's what it is. Or it could be that. Maybe that's it. Well, maybe that's the test. I don't know. Avionics. Let's make sure avionics are on. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
Autopilot. 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 Autopilot.
So mental note, that has to be on too. So that is the avionics power. And okay. And then the only thing left is pitot heat, pitot install heat. Taxi. Exterior lights is required. This thing does not have taxi lights. I guess when I get back to the US, I'll have my charts fully back. Lights are on. People. Alright. Parking brake is off. So I finally did the whole checklist. It's always uncomfortable doing that. It's like, where is this? Where's that? This is about my third flight in this thing. It's enjoyable. It's going to be very interesting to see the numbers. I don't know if this one's going to get ported. You know, I mean, I read a post. I was wondering where Coronado was in all these announcements. I mean, they're not a very talkative group of guys. So, you know, I think their primary language is Portuguese. And, you know, so you don't see a lot of posts from them. And so I was wondering, you know, why they hadn't said that they were going to be developing for FS 2020. And, you know, I'm not sure if that's a taxiway there or not. Hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at a chart instead of taxiing. So yeah, this airplane sat in my hangar for I don't know how long, and now I'm finally taking it up and going, wow, this is a nice airplane, which is a shock. Which was a shock to me. So yes, this is a beautiful airport. Global Art did a great job on it. It's in my top 5 for well done airports. Click on our strobes. I wish Coronado developed better flight models for its products. Most of their aircraft don't fly nicely. Now, I'm probably going to disagree with you there, Heavy Driver, or at least partially I will. I've had several, at least, that have had excellent flight models, and I can name them off the top of my head probably. The Cessna 337, which I had in Prepare 3D, the PA-46 350P was spot on, even to the point of go-around configuration. You could put full flaps on it, put your gear down, and then nose the thing up, and it would nail the go-around speed. Let's see, the Cheyenne. Any others? Yeah, and we're going to see this one today. We're going to see how this one does. I spent some time today looking at power settings and landing configurations and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully I won't screw this all up. But like I said, this is about my 3rd or 4th flight in this airplane, so somewhere around there. And I wanted to see how good they did. Wanted to see. So you haven't had any Coronado with a decent flight model? Curious what you got. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I've had quite a few of Coronado. Most of them have been a disappointment. I'll agree with that. But almost always because of the systems. I've got it on prepared, and I don't fly prepared anymore. But I had it. I've got the Cheyenne, which is the turboprop version of the same airplane. The demo, I like it, but I can't flare properly. I don't remember having a problem flaring it. I didn't fly it all that much, but the Cheyenne I would think would flare similarly. Do you know what your speed is? I've got numbers on the Cheyenne somewhere. If I recall, I believe the final approach speed is around 95. It's possible it could be your joystick. I mean, you have no idea. I mean, I feel your pain. My yoke was, 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was a nightmare. I had a whole bunch of things go wrong at the same time. And let me show you what let me see how I've got this one configured. Let me just come up here. Here's my pitch curve. So that's not too weird. That's not too weird. But, and I may flatten this out some more. I may drop it down like that. You have to spend some. I have to spend time with those curves to get the airplane to behave. This is a long taxi. Could be the wrong speed. I mean, when you say you have trouble getting it to flare, does it? You should probably be about 95 knots if I recall. You're going to need to be between the red line and the white line. Many of their planes, the PC-12, the Seneca. Oh, the Seneca's a piece of Citation 2, and probably a few others, but I feel like other developers do a better job getting the flight medals right. They do fly SEP. What's a single engine propeller? I guess is what that is. Tell ya, it's been years since I've flown in real life. So, but I do. It's almost unfair to compare because I used to use a sim to practice procedures before I went up when I was flying. Even after I got my pilot's license, I would spend a half hour, 45 minutes doing some flying just to get my head in the game. And the flight was never the same as it was in real life. But it got me used to doing the procedures again. Now that's hardly fair because this was in the early 2000s when I was doing this. And now, everything has changed so dramatically since then. And that was, I was using FSX back then to do that, or actually whatever version was out back then. And, so then it was prepared, and I would have to say prepared flight models are very similar to FSX's in almost all cases, even though they kept refining them. The developers kept getting better and better and better at making flight models, and the airplanes kept improving. And so honestly, actually my son and I were talking about renting an airplane and taking an instructor up, because I haven't been up in many years, but go up with an instructor and just sort of get a sense for it. I've just got to pick out an airplane and do that. What do you fly in real life? I'm going uphill. I really put some power to this thing. After this taxi, I may have to refuel, I swear. But in terms of, the things that I can verify, in the sim is things like, do they fly by the numbers? Those kinds of things. That's what I'm intending to do a little bit today. And I'll tell you what those numbers are, by the way, before I even take off. The trick to me is to, it has to do with the yoke settings, I think, and it has to do with obviously it's the motion of the airplane. There's no doubt about that. Put a park and brake on. has to do with the motion of the airplane, peripheral vision, all that kind of stuff. My view and how the airplane simply behaves on the controls. So, so here, let me bring up my yoke. Let me have a look at this real quick to see how I did. One thing that I always do when I first get an airplane, what I do is I take my yoke and I make it move the same as I'm seeing on the screen. So as much as I can. See, that's right there. I'm only turned about a quarter of the way. Well, it's understandable because my yoke is a piece of something. But at least in this area here, which is where you're going to spend most of your time, right? I want it to be moving it pretty much, my yoke moving the same as that yoke down there. And that's about as close as I can get it with this one until I get my fulcrum. So I've been patiently waiting to get a fulcrum yoke. So that's the first thing I do. So they may be wrong too. Don't get me wrong. They may have just sort of ballparked it, put an animation down there. But then I take it up and I try to match it up to a video of some kind. And it depends on what kind of videos you can find. But for example, for this airplane, I found three or four really good videos on pilots flying the airplane. And so I use YouTube quite a bit. So I can't use that one very well, but this one, so this is I'll rebroadcast somebody else's video so I can slap down for that. But this is a landing. You get a sense for how much the airplane's moving, for how much yoke she's putting in. It's not very much. And there's a few more. There's a guy named Guido who flies the S550, the Citation 2. And she doesn't move it very much. It's a calm wind day. I've seen the Guido guy flying some really rough winds. I saw him do a landing. Blew my mind what that guy did. He was in pretty moderate low-level turbulence, and he landed it on the numbers. I was shocked. It was an impressive video. Now you're going to run off and go do that. So, do you use the experimental flight model in XPlane? There's an option since. Yeah, I actually believe I have it on now. There are differences. Let's see. Yep, it's on. I haven't seen any downside of using it with Coronado airplanes at all. The only airplane that I've seen any downside of using it is the Zibo. And there is a difference in the way it flares, or when you cut power. And in fact, with all airplanes, they tend to, if you cut power, the momentum seems to keep them up in the air. Whereas in the old flight model, they tend to sort of sink right away. That's the big thing that I saw. Apart from the prop wash, which causes the airplane to want to turn left. Turn left? Yes, left. But yeah, that's what I do with these airplanes. I spend some time with this here, with whatever videos that I can get my hands on. So I'll take it up and do a low-level flight, say 2,000-3,000 feet, and just see if I can get that to tune up properly. And then comes the pitch trim. And pitch trim for me in XPlane has been, it's difficult to get right. It is difficult to get right. But, once you get it, and this new kind of curve, this isn't the best curve I've got. Like I said, this is about the third or fourth flight in this airplane. My best one right now, I think, is with the TBM. And then I think I've got one, I'm pretty close to it on the Zibo. But for me, that's about right for most airplanes. And this it seems like there's this flat area right here. I don't understand why this curve works, but it feels like, and I'd be curious to see, since you're since you fly in real life, I'd be curious to see if you tried a pitch trim like that, how it would handle on whatever airplanes you have. I mean, you said you got the PC-12. PC-12 is a good one to try. I've never bought the Seneca. The reviews on it were so bad. I never bought it. So I've got the PC-12 and the Citation 2, and I've never set my curve on the PC-12. I never thought the PC-12 was that bad. Not a huge fan of the sounds, but overall, it's a good airplane. I don't like the fact that they never implement the non-essential bus, which would be so cool if they did. But they didn't, they did the same thing in the Cheyenne. But yeah, Charpentier, if you try about 95 knots and try if you're having trouble flaring, try a curve like I just showed you. You've got what kind of a yoke do you have? Is it like an Extreme 3D Pro or something like that? Feels like a toy. Seneca. Oh, the Seneca feels like a toy. I like the looks of it. I'd love to have a good Seneca, but the avionics, people were railing against it, and I just sort of ran away. Not surprised. They should. Honestly, we'll have to see what When I was talking to myself earlier in this video, I got a cheap Thrustmaster? There's such a thing as a cheap Thrustmaster? Which one? Because some of those Thrustmasters are good. We'll upgrade to a good yoke at the end of the year. I've had this CH Products one for I don't know how many years. This may be my second one. I don't remember. Thing is old, and I only recently started looking at it pretty hard, and that's partly because there's some other yokes that are coming out that are better and worth the extra money. But and I really do want a new yoke. But the CH yoke has been a good yoke. I mean, I would get it way before I would get the old Cytec ones. The Hadas? Oh, that's the one that has a combined yoke and joystick together, I think. I don't think those are bad. I wish the experimental flight model became the new default, because having it as an option keeps developers from updating their planes. I don't think they're going to do that. What I've been hearing is that what they've done, and I've already done this, in the TBM and in another airplane, you can go into the plane maker, and you can turn it on, and then no matter what that checkbox says in your sim, it will use, if you turn that checkbox on, it will use experimental flight model no matter what. So I just happen to have it on in here. I don't remember how this one's set, but yeah, in the TBM I turned it on permanently because it's designed for the experimental flight model, and all new airplanes will be designed for the experimental flight model. But personally, I've found that the Coronado ones fly better with it checked. That's my own personal opinion. So they just do. You do get that left-handed pull when you're in a climb. The airplane's designed to fly straight and level, and when you're in a climb, it's not flying straight and level, so it's going to do weird things. So it wants to turn left. So yeah, you have to put some adjustment in. So yep. What Yeah, Charpentier, try adjusting your curve. Don't, do this. If you, go here and under control sensitivity, make it like that. I know that some of these are overridden, but I would set that to 0. They say this is unrealistic. So I always set that to 0 and leave this in the middle, but I believe this is all overridden. And then go into your pitch, which is, if you're saying you can't flare, then you probably need to fix your pitch. And set it to something like that, about there, and see if that helps you. I actually have a picture of this that I keep because something erased my curves uh, well, 3 weeks ago, and I had to readjust everything. And honestly speaking, it's better now than it has been ever. So if I screw up this landing, it's all on me. Alright, so let's see, I need to find my, taxi before takeoff. Anti-systems is required. Yeah, we'll get to that. Flight controls. Free incorrect. You can only see this side. Yeah, try it. I've never heard a thing bad about any Thrustmaster yoke or joystick, and I know a lot of people use that. Use them. Blue Games I think uses one, and XPlane 1972 I think it uses one, and actually I think what's his name? Captain Canada uses one, which kind of makes sense because they do fly the Airbuses a lot. So yeah, so flight controls, flaps and trim. And if you want to get on Discord sometime, do you have my Discord? If you want to get on Discord and talk about it, then we could do that. Let me get my Discord. Yeah, I need to make this a public thing in my messages. Here. That's my Discord. That should be a permanent link. So anybody that wants to join can join that. Yeah, we could just take it offline. I don't know how we could do it, but maybe if you, well, it's hard to do. It's, I mean, it's trial and error. I hope you do get well, a lot of people fly it with a joystick, so I'm not going to say I hope you get a yoke, but, because a lot of people, Blue Games, watch him fly all the time. He's fun to watch. So where were we? Our taxi to the runway. I'm going to run out of gas before we even get off the ground. Let's see. Anti-system's fine. Flight controls are fine. Flaps and trim set for takeoff. We'll use flaps 1. You can use flaps 1 or 2 on this airplane. Let's see. That's off. Flaps and trim set for takeoff. Good. Takeoff data confirm and set. Well, you rotate at 95. I'm not going to do all that stuff. Typically what I see on and have read is this airplane rotates around 95. Landings are a little different if you're heavy. If you're heavy, you might do 120 on final. Oh, and I was going to talk about those power settings real quick. So I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and maybe I should post those to Discord as well. But let's see, where did I write those numbers down? Give me a sec. There they are. Okay, so I spend a lot of time doing this kind of junk. So the guy's name, his videos, if you want to look him up, is Guido Warnecki. He flies the Citation to, he used to fly it a lot, I'm not sure if he still does, but he's got a fair number of YouTube videos with it. And hopefully you'll be able to find that one where he does that turbulence landing. It's an impressive piece of work. Let's see, where are the significant ones here? So I watched him do a visual approach today. And well, I've watched a few pilots. Most of them do 110 knots on final, unless they're heavy. And the one video I saw of him, he did 120 on final, and I heard him say that they were heavy. So I assume that's why he was doing 120. Most of them are doing, their power settings on final are about 50, somewhere between 52 and 56. So, maybe 57. So, out on the approach with gear down and 2 notches of flaps, it's about 56, 57 NG. And that should establish you on the glide slope at 140 knots. And then you add your 3rd notch of flaps and establish 110, and that's around 50, 52. So we'll see how close this airplane is to those numbers, 57 and 52. If, you know, it could be off, but we'll see how far off. And then when you flare and touchdown, it should settle down somewhere between 195 knots with a very gentle nose up. So it's pretty, you know, your nose may be 1 degree up or 1 degree down, but then you pull about 2 degrees up very gently, and it should settle down. We'll see if it does. That's the goal here, to see if that's what it does. And this isn't a long flight. I think it's less than an hour, I think. So before takeoff, ignitions are on. Let's turn those on. Okay, well, pitos on. Exterior lights are all on. Transponder and radar transponder. Well, I'll at least change it to, this is strange. Transponder is on altitude, and I guess I gotta turn that on too. Well, weird that that's a click. Okay, so transponder annunciator panel is clear. Headphones are going to cut out. There we go. Sorry about the noise. Alright. And if you watch some of those videos too, you'll see that they take off, they rotate around 95, and they let the airplane accelerate to 200 knots. So they'll keep it in a steady climb, and they'll accelerate 200 to 210, well, 210 to 220 actually. So we'll set this. So if we do select IAS, it doesn't, you know, it's not like the TBM where it takes the speed you're on. This one, you set that little arrow. So it's a good idea to set that arrow for your cruise climb. Pretty airport. So lights, icing, flaps are set. Transponder is set. And this does have a toga button. There we go. Park and brake off. So I think there's a Bravo, a Citation Bravo that's coming with FS 2020. I'll have to look to see if that's what it is. Citation Bravos were really very similar to this airplane. And I'll be curious to see how it flies. Alright, so 50%. Thereabouts. Everything looks good. And right about there. My rudder pedals are too sensitive. Even with that curve, I had to be gentle on that pullback. That, you know, that's a pretty flaps up. They have the Alpha. The Citation Alpha? Oh, I see. They have the Alpha. Yeah, there's some videos out there. There's actually a few. I'll tell you about the... just give me a moment here. Let's see, so we're out this. And we're climbing. I never said this. God bless it. And I'm going to set IAS. Oops. And let's do nav. And autopilot. And where is it going? It says right there what line it's on. Alright, so I'm going to disconnect the autopilot because it's screwing up. Whoa. Gotta have a real soft touch when you're going that fast. Whoa. Okay. So looks like about 215, and we're climbing at nearly 3,000 feet per minute. Okay, so make sure I get the right altitude. Flight level 320 is where we're going to. Yeah, the thing, I'll have to look at the, which airplane they have. Look at that haze out there. I'll have to look at what airplanes they have on FS 2020. They got the Sovereign if you get the Pro thing. But they've got another Citation. There's two of them. And I hope it's the Bravo. That, you know, I really hope, I wish it was the Mustang, but it's not. They don't expect it to be as good as XPlane for a while. Some areas, I assume flight models and navigation, but they do not. Yeah, we'll see. It may take it a while. You know, think of all the work that went into making FSX better. And one of the reasons why it got better is because FSX didn't move. You know, it wasn't constantly changing. Of course, XPlane, that doesn't hurt XPlane. It's constantly changing too. Let's see, landing lights are off. It's constantly changing, and you know, people still make plugins for it. It's more of a moving target than FSX ever was. But then on the other hand, the thing that's great about XPlane that I think people overlook is the fact that you can, it's really easy to, number one, uninstall, you know, install something and uninstall it. Well, that's not good. Not a peep out of this thing. Not a sound. Great. How do I get rid of this? Yeah, I don't know that, if that's working. The flight models, we'll have to see. I haven't heard that, you know, of course, I don't know. Maybe. I'll be curious to, you know, I'm pretty critical when it comes to flight models. Look where ITT is. That's as far as I can push that. Yeah. We'll see. You know, I'll be in there, but I haven't heard a lot of complaints about flight models. You know, I haven't seen a lot of feedback that way. I would think that we would have heard from, it would have leaked out that the flight models stink. What I have heard is that the damage doesn't work. You know, if you crash the airplane, it more or less bounces, which I don't care about. You know, if I crash, then I just simply stop the flight and reload the sim. I don't care if it bounces. I'm not going to keep flying if I do that. You know, and you know, but you know, they say that they've got a better collision model. On the other hand, I hope it's not all graphics. You know, I hope it's It's not just a much better looking sim without having great flight models. You know, having said that, in prepared, I can count the airplanes that I thought had great flight models on one hand, pretty much. Maybe I need another finger. There's a couple PMDGs. There's one that I made, which I still think is great. Put my own little thing there. So it's 3. There's the Turbine Duke, which was so, you know, which was good. The problem with that was the engine. Cessna 337, which I was blown away by. I'll be honest. You know, Heavy Driver, I don't know if you're still there, but you know, I got the Cessna 337 after I sent back another Coronado plane. I asked them if they would switch it out, and I just took a guess, and I picked the Cessna 337, and I took that airplane off one day, and I was blown away by the flight model. I mean, I was completely blown away. I just loved it. That's, you know, I wasn't so hot on the cockpit, but it was a good cockpit, but it was not a great cockpit. And that was my opinion. For what it's worth, that was my opinion. I should look at that approach. The thing, you know, I mean, I finally settled down and gave this airplane an 8. Because it doesn't, you know, it loses points because of some things they didn't do, which I think everybody should do these days. It doesn't have Navigraph, so it cost it. You know, these are, they're decent textures, nothing great, nothing to write home about. But still, an 8 is pretty good, you know, for an airplane. Now, well, you know, it may go down a bit, it may go up a bit because of how it handles these power settings. We will see. The sounds are great. There's a nice rumble to it. You know, it's not going to get anything higher than a 9 ever because of this. But, you know, if I set that aside, and, you know, there are some Citation 2s that have 750s in them. I think there's some Citation 2s that have dual 750s in them. The haze out there today. Man. Realistic though, I've been up in the air like that. So not a whole lot of, can't see too far with the scenery. But it does feel realistic. I don't know what happened to my camera there. Why is it pointing that way? Maybe I did that on purpose. Maybe I thought, you know, I'll pretend like I'm standing in the middle of the airplane looking forward. Might have done that. Okay. 22 miles from the airport. That's 11 miles out. So what I'm going to do is say at Kirk, I'm going to be at 7,000. I don't think this thing will make a sound. I don't know what it is about this thing not making a sound. Hello, just landed at ENAS. ENAS. Let's see what that is. Where is that? Holy cow. Wow, man, you are north. Wow. What did you land at ENAS in? Svalbard. Arctic City in Norway. That belongs to Norway, huh? Wow, man. So we got a ways to go before we get to Chicago. That's good. King Air, the 350 or the 200 or the 90? Okay, give it a little extra power. That's unbelievably far north. I had no idea those islands were up there. It's amazing what you learn. One of the reasons I like Flight Sim is you learn so much. C90. I like the C90. Let's see, what's the temperature out there? So we're climbing at 900 feet per minute up here. Got a lot of fuel, don't have a lot of passengers. SimBrief told me that I couldn't make this flight, that this airplane doesn't have that much range. This airplane has a 2,000 mile range, and this flight is around 400 miles. So I threw all the passengers off. It's me and a co-pilot. Did you guys see, did they release the new SR-22 yet? It's supposed to be today. I'm gonna guess not yet. Yeah, it still says releasing Saturday. Has a teddy bear or something sitting in the passenger seat. I don't speak English. 150, 40, 30, 20, 10, butter. Don't speak English. Yeah, I flew, actually one day I took the King Air 90 up at loaded it up in Hawaii and just took it for a flight, and I liked it. I was like, you know, this is really nice. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. I want to see what Hawaii looks like in FS 2020.
Traffic.
Yeah, you tell me when he's behind me. Cool having that. Oh, and the guy said something. That's good. Departed from, okay, in the middle of Svalbard, a northern city in the world with a northern airport to 737 are operating there 3 times per day from Oslo to Tromsø. Familiar with Tromsø and Oslo, actually. Orbx, I think, did Tromsø. And I'm sure somebody, Aerosoft, somebody did Oslo. Our haze is cleared up. So how long did it take the King Air to get there? I mean, I would think Oslo up to there. Well, I don't know where you... Oh, let's see, you departed from Longyearbyen. Longyearbyen. In the middle of... Only 2 streamers did... but I have never seen someone go to... Well, now you have. Did you stream it? I'm going to be real curious about it, about some other corporate jets. I really am. Not just the Sovereign. Somebody made a video of what all the airplanes that are in FS 2020. And I don't want to have to look at the video. FS 2020 airplanes. I wonder if it'll pop up anything on Google. Aircraft. Where is it? CJ4. So there are differences between a CJ4 and a CJ2, no doubt. But I think it's fairly similar, probably in terms of landing. And the Sovereign is like a Citation X. Yeah, we'll all be curious about all kinds of places. It's going to be kind of a, you know, I think they probably did a better job than FSX did with their airports, which was, you know, I mean, in its day, when it came out, they were ugly when it came out, and then the more time went on, they started looking uglier and uglier. Dava service ceiling at 410. That would be tough. But yeah, I'll be curious. Probably one of the first few airplanes I load up will be the CJ4. And then, obviously, I'll have to try the Sovereign out, right? I mean, you can't not try the Sovereign. Oh, you bought it, huh? That's, yeah. We're doing 350 feet per minute. I'm gonna push a little bit further. That's as close as I dare go right there. Try the Caravan? Yeah, that'll be interesting. It's the EX, right? That means it's got a G1000 in it, I think. It is the EX. Cessna. Yeah, it's a 208B Grand Caravan EX, which should have a G1000. The 350i may come in 3 different configurations, so that one I will have to just at least look at. I'm not a huge fan of flying the bigger King Airs because of all the friggin' paperwork, checklists, and books and everything you gotta do. Though I've always admired their beauty. I think the 90 is a much more practical airplane. Family airplane. I do have the airfoil labs, and occasionally I'll take it up. You got to be careful. Yeah, it's just intercepted the altitude right there. I think you got to be careful with it. With this airplane, is always hit IAS. Always. You go to VS mode, hit IAS. If you go to IAS mode, or I mean, you always have to. Yeah. You also outcell it. That's what you always have to. You always have to hit outcell. If you don't, it'll just blow right through your altitude like it's not there. Let's see if ITT comes down at all. Yeah, the Caravan, what's great about the Caravan to me is, you know, I mean, you can do bush flying in it, sure, but they fly all over the Caribbean. And you can bet, I'll be flying all over the Caribbean. I mean, every night, if you bring up SkyVector, not SkyVector, what's that other website? FlightAware. You know, Cessna 208s everywhere. They're like flies. At least that's what they were before all this mess started. Yeah. first question. Let's see. Is it really safe to use a King Air on gravel? If it has inertial separators, I would think it would be. And is this hard? Well, is it hard to fly these airplanes? You got to learn how to manage your speed. You need to watch some YouTube videos, learn how to manage speed. So, get a Cessna 172 and set it up at 80 knots and try to land. 80 or 70 knots. 1,200 hours and still not the best I have. Practice. 2 minutes. Don't they have the gravel blowers under the engines on the Cessna 727 flying in Canada? Gravel. You talked about the reverse thrusters. I don't even know what that is. I mean, is that a thing? Slight help from the wind, and we're doing 373 knots. Yeah, you'll crash. Get up and try it again. Crash again. I don't know how many times I crashed. Learn how to manage your speed. You know, Cessna 172, set it up on a 3-mile final and set your power for, say, 65 knots or so and try to land. Gotta set 65 knots. Cessna 172. It'll almost land itself if you set 65 knots. Don't set 65 knots, you have no hope. It'll be very hard. Oh, really? Close a filter in front of that's a good idea. 727's engines are pretty high up. But, yeah, if they need them, they need them. I was thinking about it. I was doing 210 in my climb. And I should have probably switched over to Mach. I guess this is the Mach scale here. At some point, probably around flight level 200. But how do you do that? Well, I guess, wow, does that actually move? I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. So at 200, we're just above 0.6 Mach. So when we get lower, this scale should change. JFK, it's got Los Angeles, it's got Seattle, not Atlanta. Oh no. Oh wait, there's more. It's got O'Hara International Airport, not O'Hare. It's got O'Hara. No Atlanta. It's got Denver, San Francisco, O'Hara. Does have Heathrow. Does have Frankfurt. Those are all good. It's Amsterdam. It's got that. Cape Town. Wow. Cairo. These are interesting airports. It's got Haneda, but not the other one. Narita. It doesn't have Narita. It's got Billy Bishop, but it doesn't have Toronto. It's got Orlando. That's good. Charles de Gaulle. Paro. Yeah, well, you people that fly into Paro, good luck to you. JFK. Some little ones I've never heard of. It's got Innsbruck, of course. Gibraltar, that's always interesting. Cristiano Ronaldo Madeira, Portugal, which is out in the ocean. Donegal, which is good. Nice to see Ireland in there. Courchevel. You guys can do a non-stop from Courchevel to Paro. Aspen, but no Atlanta. I hope somebody decent does Atlanta. I'll have to get Fly Tampa right away. And Key West Orbx Key West. Oh, like I gotta get my fix. Florida fix. No Norway airports. I'm sorry. I feel bad. Well, maybe Aerosoft will get busy on them. You know, some folks are talking about they'll give people discounts if they've already owned their airports. I'll be okay with that. Certainly need them for Fly Tampa ones. Those suckers are so expensive. You meant the 737. I was going to say the 727. The engines are back on the tail, very high up. Okay. That explains a lot. And the 200 is a turbo jet, not a turbo fan. It's got those long engines. Long, very, very loud engines. Very loud. So you can see this is not vStates here. Well, hold on. Let's see where we are. I don't know where we are actually. Michigan, so well, there is VetSim online up here. It's the only place that, well, no, there's some down south too. If you guys don't use Sim Toolkit Pro, you should probably give it a try. This is their live map of my flight. Took off from here, landing here. These are all the VetSim planes out there. This guy's apparently on my same flight plan. And all the names of the fixes. VATSIM controller here, some more down south. I've got it locked to where my airplane is, so it's not going to show you that. But that's handy. And it's got a logbook. I don't know what the fleet does, but it's got a logbook. I just started using it, so my logbook's pretty empty. Oh, wow, cool. You can actually see where you flew. But it's missing at least one of my flights. Because I flew from Jacksonville up to Atlanta. It's my fleet, my big fleet. I don't have a schedule. I don't know what a schedule is. Oh, I guess I could schedule a flight. I wonder what that does. So you schedule a flight, then what happens? Landing reports. You can see where I'm doing practice approaches. Look at these. And it's got some other tools too. This is nice because you put your flight plan in, it will download it directly from SimBrief. There's a button over here where it'll download it directly from SimBrief. And I guess you can zoom in on it. I hope you can. And it'll move the map based on your fixes. And then you can go to the flight summary and you can see your charts. You can see departure charts, arrival charts, diversion charts. You can, I don't know what load means. What the heck does load mean? To study that. Radio. So here's the radio frequencies. And then the weather. This is what, you know, it's nice to have this at your fingertips. And a scratch pad. Whatever you want to do there. Various charts. And you get your whole OFP, so it pulls your OFP in. So if you use SimBrief, you know, it works well with SimBrief. Or you can make your own flight plan in this stuff. You know, if you don't want to load a flight plan from SimBrief, you can just make one, or it'll make one for you. Did a pretty decent job of this, and it's got these tools down here. Flight controllers, what the heck is that? Oh, you can file in VATSIM, divert, cancel, edit flight, cancel flight, fix phase, load my own OFP file. Put checklists in here. So this is the Zevo. Not very useful. Well, I guess it is. And then 767. I think you can add your own. Yeah, you can add. Pop it out. Wind calculator. This is good if you're doing crosswind landings. Or if you want to calculate what heading you should fly to stay on course if you're doing dead reckoning. VATSIM. You can import flights, project fly. Approach simulator doesn't work, not that I've seen. May work on prepared. Weather update interval. I've got this shut off. But you could, you know, update your weather. Oh, SimToolkit Pro is free. You don't have to buy that. If that's what you're referring to, it's free. Just Google it and you can download it from their website. He says it's free and it's always going to be free. Though, yeah, I mean, yeah, in the US you get all the charts, and it looks like you can get some from Canada too. So, yeah, this airplane still makes me nervous because I really don't know it that well. But we'll see. Yeah. See, I can't get to VNav here, weirdly enough. I have to go here to get to VNav. guy that says vertical track. So we'll set this. This way. That's the 7,000. Back to heading mode. And, you know, and, it keeps changing my setting here, I believe. No, that's right. Yeah, see, I like to have this set. Wind vector. That's why I like it. And it matches what's down here. If they're still flying 737-200s, that's pretty cool because those airplanes are really old. Let's go back and go to proc. And let's go back to our OFP. I think you can actually put in a streaming overlay using this thing, but I looked at it. It looks pretty cheesy. Runway 22 right. Okay, so let's load approach. Yeah, so this, wrong thing. This also has the charts, the arrival charts, for U.S. airports at least, and some Canada, I guess. So, ILS 22 right. So since we don't have Navigraph, we have to do it this way. So 7,000 at, I have no idea how to pronounce that. And missed approach altitude is 4,000. So we'll need DPA. DPA is here, DuPage. So we need 111.3. Don't look down there, that's not going to help. 11.3 is already in the standby. Oops. Have one. Swap. And we need 1108.4. Swap. So there's that. So the RMI points now to, well, it should point at the VOR, but that doesn't look right. Maybe it hasn't received it yet. And let's look at our VNav again. 9 minutes. And there we go. And altitude is set. faster than the GBM, at least at this altitude. Got to learn how to climb because, you know, you probably hold 210 until you get up into the Machs, and then you probably keep adjusting your speed and keeping it on a certain Mach. Right around flight level 180 or so. We'll have to see if this thing actually moves when we, you know, are descending. So like I said, right now 200 is a little bit more than 0.6. We'll see if that inner scale moves. It should.
Vertical track.
There he is. Okay, so we got that. We got 7,000. We are expecting 1,900 feet per minute for our descent. So that's going to be way down here. So we'll just go ahead and hit VS. My alternate was Detroit. So yeah, I'm going to hold on to XPlane, if nothing else, just to get the Challenger. Because I want to get that, you know, the hot start Challenger. And I would love to see Hot Start port their stuff over to Prepared. I think these are my ortho. I don't think, I mean, they look good, but I don't think vStates has it up this far north. You can see the color corrected stuff down there. Not that that looks bad. It's maybe a little bit too bright. What could I screw up here, huh? Let's see. I never did sync my engines. Does move. I know it does. Must be tied to a switch. Switch. I did something. What did I do? I pissed it off. Can't wait for the Bravo throttle with those amazing levers, which I can use to the C90. Yeah, you got two choices, right? I think I like the Bravo too. You got that or the A320 throttle that Thrustmaster's making. You know, I like the Bravo better, I think. I mean, as long as those handles don't start getting loose. I'm so glad those throttles are coming out, I swear. I can't believe we've all survived on the Citation and the CH throttle quadrants for so long. Okay, what's the altimeter? Let's see. Light summary, weather 3011. VS target is 1700, so I could slow this down a little bit. That should do. We will see how Chicago does on frame rates. I loaded it before this flight and it looked like it was going to be okay, but I've had some severe problems with Chicago, with Derswicki Chicago. So bad that I've never completed a flight there. So today we're going to give it a try. Yeah, at least in some ways 2020 has been a decent year. Well, we'll see. We'll see in another 3 weeks. But, you know, I'm not complaining. You know, as people were getting on this guy, really famous flight simmer, he said he's going to drop XPlane. He's going to delete it the day, on the 18th, the day that other one came out. And, well, that surprises me, I have to admit. I did the same thing with Prepared one day. Well, no, actually, it was different. I gave up simming for like 8 or 9 months completely because I got so frustrated with it. I took my PC and I gave it to my son. I said, I'm done with this crap. And then one day I decided I would try it. I looked at XPlane, started studying it, and said, you know, I could give that a try. So I had a different PC and I loaded it up. This time I'm not frustrated with XPlane. I'm not, you know. I'm content. And when I look at the videos comparing XPlane to, well, actually, yeah, there is a video out there that compares XPlane to FS 2020. And there are some things that are significantly different. Certainly the lighting and certainly the clouds. But when you're high up in an airplane, you scratch your head and go, which one am I looking at? So when you get down low is where the differences start to show up again. So, you know, I wouldn't count it out yet. And the last time I saw a video of turbulence in, and we'll see, maybe they fixed it since then, but the last time I saw turbulence in FS 2020, it was more of the same old turbulence. It was them wiggling the airplane. Instead of actually having turbulence, they just say, oh, he's in turbulence. Somebody wiggle the airplane, which to me is ridiculous. Well, I understand why they do it. I understand why they do that, but there's better ways. The thing is that they compare default, but you can customize in the way you want, which is good. Yeah, it is completely unfair to compare default XPlane to FS20. Well, yeah, almost completely unfair. It's a joke. You know, but on the other hand, you install it out of the box without any work at all. You've got ortho, you've got, you know, overlays, you've got buildings everywhere, you got trees. You know, that's another thing I'm looking for. You know, with the lighting that FS 2020 has, I want less maintenance. I don't want to be screwing around making changes to the sim. I figure it'll be enough maintenance to install a boatload of airports. The lights are on. belt. We're going to be a deep doo-doo here in just a bit. Gotta press that. Yeah, with the light, and with the don't have to maintain anything in the scenery. I want more realistic clouds and weather. I'd like to see realistic turbulence, realistic air movement. Not turbulence, air movement. Turbulence is fine. They can do what they want with the turbulence. But when I'm on final and I'm trying, you know, I'm coming into land, the air should move. You should feel like the airplane is floating, like in a boat. Austin said the reason they add Vulcan wasn't because of VR, but to have ultimate scenery without OpenGL, which they couldn't have. Can you please learn me how to request for IFR? You mean how to request an IFR clearance? Reality? How you doing? You mean on VATSIM, right? How to request an IFR clearance? Or do you mean inside the sim? I'm going to activate the approach. Back. Rock. No. Alright. Yep. Okay, and let's power back. And we want to set this speed thingy to VREF, which will be about 100. Oh, inside the sim. I'll have to look. Honestly, I've never done it. I've always used VATSIM. So I captured our altitude. And let's zoom in. And let's put on flaps. Not yet. I don't know what the flaps limiting speed is. There it is. 261. Okay, 261, so I can do flaps 1. And I can activate the approach. So we want to do about 160 to 140. Did this thing turn? Is it blowing through the approach? It's blowing through the approach. Heading mode. Left. Alright. We may have to do this by hand. Alright. Alright, now let's do the approach again. Alright, approach is armed, right? Yep. Nav is armed. So I'm doing 7, doing 140. We're still okay. Let's turn right a little bit. Let's see if it intercepts. says it is. Heading is still on. Those are still armed. Damn it. Really? Damn it. 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 See, a glide slope's coming down. Let's go flaps approach. And let's get some power. No, too slow, too slow. And I'll go ahead and put gear down. The goal will be so it's got, oh, now it says it's got the localizer and the glide slope. So what's different, huh? That's okay, blew through it twice. But now it's got it. Here's Chicago. Okay, we're descending on the approach. And we're doing 120 knots. Flaps what? Yep. We're right where we need to be. And I'll slow to 110 at the final approach fix. Yeah, on VATSIM it is. It's not as hard as you think. It's mostly about nerves. People make mistakes. People's, you know, that's how you learn. I may do a VATSIM flight. I'll have to go upstairs and see if there's anything I need to do. But I may do a VATSIM flight after this. But will I do the ZEBO or will I do the TBM? Because I'm not doing this one on VATSIM yet. Okay, so we're at the final approach fix. Let's see what the power setting has to be. 110 knots. So after I get done with this, like I said, I think the power setting should be about 56, and I'm seeing 67 so far, 68. I'll have to go back and watch those videos and see if my observations were correct. So 68, 69. I haven't taken over yet because I'm trying to control the speed. Let's see, and you know, honestly, I do not know what the friggin' altitude is supposed to be at this airport. Arrival turns. Approach. I'll pick any of them, it doesn't matter. 680, so we got a ways to go yet, according to Gotta go. There may be a big difference when we CFS 2020 that all these trees may fill in. Right now they're very tiny. See, there's some right there. Here's some here. There's some here. But in the neighborhoods, there's not many. If you look over at where the houses are, there's not a lot of trees down there. That may all fill in. So I think the power setting for this is about 68. I will go back and look. Yeah, you really shouldn't. What you should do is go find an out-of-the-way airport. Airplane 12 miles away. Okay. Okay, so we'll close that. Go to an out-of-the-way, where there's VATSIM, go to an out-of-the-way airport that has instrument stuff.
Traffic.
Yep, I see it. 2 miles. 2 miles, there's traffic. Out here. 600 feet above me. I do not see them. 2 miles away. Oh, there he is. Yeah, and then, you know, we can give you the phraseology for that. And you find, you know, in the client, Swift or within XPilot, you dial up that controller. They'll give you a list of all the controllers. You just dial them up and then just tell them where you are, that you have the ADIS if there is one. They'll help you with that. And let's see, what's your altitude? Okay. And then you request clearance. So you say, you know, November 631 Tango Bravo is at St. Petersburg Airport, you know, IFR clearance on request to blah blah. And then be ready to write. Have a pen in your hand. Because he's going to give you, he's going to say something like 531 Tango Bravo cleared to so it's such and such as filed, climb and maintain 3000, expect final altitude 10 minutes later. And they'll say departure frequency will be something squawk 1267. So you got to write down that, hold down altitude. And then you got to write down your squawk. And it's okay to sound like you don't know what you're doing, because there's lots of people on there that don't know what they're doing. They're trying to learn. Okay, so final flaps. It's early, but I'm still doing it. So 70 is what my power needs to be. I'm gonna take the
autopilot
off.
Autopilot.
See, I like the localizer thing right here. But it's something I gotta get used to.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
'Not on the center line, but I'm not complaining. Hope I can find a taxiway. Yeah, it was. According to Sim Toolkit Pro, it was minus 234 feet per minute. So lights, icing, flaps. Kind of pilot that controllers want to strangle because they won't get their butt off the runway. That's a pretty airport, and the frame rate's okay. Let's see. So somehow, though, let's see. There's only one GA area. Hold on, let me find it. I think it's there. No, that's the Southwest cargo ramp. Hold on, let me look at this map. Arrival charts. Well, you know, at least I should pull up off the runway. You're not off the runway until you cross this line right there. Alright, set the park and brake here a moment. Let's see. General taxi charts, airport diagram. Where is it? General aviation ramp. So we are there. So we go up here, across here, over there, and right there. So good luck with that, right? So we cross here. Good luck. I'll feel my way over there. Transponder. There we go. Shut that off so we don't get warnings. Oh, it shut itself off. Another thing to like about this, let's see, should I go that way? No, I'm going to go on down. I'm going to follow this taxiway here. Around. My rudder pedals are too sensitive for this airplane. But at least we get a nice tour, huh? That is Derswicki, Chicago. My frame rate here is 20. So, not great, but I think it's because I've got the city and the airport. I think it's a lot of it. Another thing that's nice about this airplane, as opposed to the TVM, is that if I decided to take a flight with this airplane, which I'm not going to do, and fly to, after this, I don't have to wait 15 minutes for it to cool down. So we'll go up here, and we'll turn right and get on Romeo somehow. Let's stop here a second, just take a quick peek at the airport. Can't turn. Try to turn. This way. Pretty cool. Got enough control towers here? 1, 2, 3. Actually, I have a friend who was like a controller here. He just retired. He was with me when I was in the military. I didn't know it, but he got a job at O'Hare. He's a good controller. Okay. Okay, hopefully I've got the right place to turn. This map seems to be a little bit off. It says I'm past the taxiway. think I must have the... Oh, that's right. This is Terzwicki Airport. The Nimbus one has people in it. So is this Romeo here? No, next one. Tango. Tango 1. Tango will work. This is a big airport. So, okay, we're on Tango. Beautifully done airport. Just hard on, a little harder on frames than I'd like it to be. Vulcan helps. I'll get up here and watch my landing one time. I assume I'm going this way. Isn't quite right. Dear Lord. Now I'm pointing this way. Says I'm in the grass. Nice PBR. I want to see airports with wet pavement. So I guess I can go up here to S5 and just go down that. I hope. It says there's... Okay, so what taxiway is this? RR1. Hold on. This thing is lying through its teeth. This is where I need Have a tab. See, then what is that junk up there? Should we try RR1? Wait a second. This is pissing me off. Navgraph, where are you? Navgraph. There's nothing over here. This one says I'm here. So write the echo. Wait a second. Write the echo and then left on Papa. So let's go straight. I'm getting the full tour today. Taxiways that aren't there. Says there's no runway here either. Fascinating. Right on echo. Let's turn right here. Unless that says echo. That's a runway. Navgraph has it right. That doesn't. So left on Papa. Papa. But at least I get the tour, right? It's a pretty airport. Big airport. Yeah, so I had conflicting information about landing speeds with this airplane, and I've got it sorted out now. Should be really 130 until you put full flaps, and then 110 after that. So mental note, don't ever use this for taxi help. Unless this airport is just all screwed up. But according to Navigraphics, the airport's right. It's this that's messed up. Let's have a look. Have 4 control towers here. So it was about 70, 68 on final, fully configured. Wow, man, that is messed up. Now it thinks I'm coming up on a closed runway. I'm on taxiway Papa 2. Lots of things screwed up here. Alright. And a left turn it straight in. And I'll finally see their FBO. Yep, this one's labeled right. inner marker. I just want to kill it. So this is the GA area. Sky chefs. And it's all mine. Nice PBR. Alright, shut the avionics off. And AC off. And open the door. Lights off, fuel pumps off, generators off, batteries off. Welcome to Chicago. I hope I'm taking off on 27 center. That's all I got to say. Even though I did enjoy the tour. Imagine how long it would take you to walk around this airport. Here's Chicago. Why would they put a control tower here of all places? Must be for something else. But I could see them putting one here and then one here. Alright. Well, thank you for watching. You can smash the thumbs up. Subscribe if you like. I'll be on a little later, probably with a VATSIM thing if they're online. Kind of my goal is to do a VATSIM flight today. I was too tired of doing last night. I'm going to do one today. So, yep. Thanks again.